MPs were given a free vote, meaning they could follow their own personal beliefs. The bill now moves to the House of Lords, and if it passes there, it could be 2029 before assisted dying is made available in England. Under the bill, adults who want to end their life must be terminally ill with no more than 6 months expected to live and have the mental capacity to make the choice, free from coercion or pressure. Patients must make 2 separate declarations about their wish to die, with 2 doctors and an expert panel assessing the application. If that application is approved, a doctor would then prepare the substance required to end life, but the person must take it themselves. Our political editor, Chris Mason, is at Westminster tonight. Chris.
This is not yet law, but today was the biggest single moment in what will be a big change in the law in England and Wales if that happens in the coming months. Comparable with the Abortion Act of 1967, the legalisation of homosexuality, the introduction of gay marriage. And MPs able to make their own decision in this vote have weighed it with real intensity in the last few months and weeks, yes, and indeed today, very conscious that the country was watching on.
Listen to our voice, our freedom, our joy.
The cacophony of argument, the biggest of principles. Responsibility, choice, dignity, the state, the individual, and yes, life and death.
Those of us who may get to that point in our lives where we know we're near the very end and we are suffering intolerably, I think it is the only compassionate thing is to offer that choice.
I just don't feel it's the answer. I really don't. I think we should be supporting people in life and not giving them assisted suicide, which is what it really amounts to.
I call Kim Leadbeater to move.
9 years ago this week, the Labour MP Jo Cox was murdered in the street. Today, her sister Kim Leadbeater led the argument for a profound but controversial social change.
Benjamin Franklin told us that in this world, nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. In this house, we debate the latter incessantly. But here, and in the country as a whole, discussing death is something we tend to shy away from.
That, in a solemn and thoughtful way, changed here today, and this was the core of her argument.
This is not a choice between living and dying. It is a choice for terminally ill people about how they die.
But plenty were unconvinced, worried about coercion, the vulnerable, the overreach of authority.
We already have the power to end our own lives. It's called suicide. It is not a crime. It hasn't been a crime in this country for decades. This is a different power. This is about the power of the state through its agents to exercise power over life and death.
There is no doubt that if this bill is passed in its current form, people will lose their lives who do not need to, and they will be amongst the most vulnerable and marginalised in our society.
For others, advocating change came after grim personal experience.
Supporting the principle of personal agency over a dignified death comes from the heart.
The Labour MP Maureen Burke spoke about her brother David and his diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. Watch the 2 colleagues behind her wipe away tears.
I've done right by my brother by speaking here today. What David needed was a humane, safe and trusted process available to him at home. That would give him agency over his last weeks and months. That is what this bill offers.
But hang on, said critics, some might benefit, others would not.
How many lives taken in error is too many? 1, 1 in 10, 1 in 100? This House, clearly supports the principle of an assisted death, as does the public, but not at any cost.
But it was arguments like this next one which, on balance, commanded a majority.
We honour life by giving it meaning and power. And the one thing that dying people ask for in their agonising final moments is control over the disease that is destroying them.
Next, the result.
The ayes to the right, 314. The noes to the left, 291.
Afterwards, from both sides, the immediate reaction.
And it's been a particularly emotional week for me because it was the anniversary of my sister's murder, and that's what brought me here. But Joe used to say, if good people don't step forward and come into politics, then what do we end up with? And even though some of us feel quite out of place in this place at times, we're here to make a difference, and we're here to do positive, important change that society asks us to do.
For some opponents, the argument is not over. Would it be, in your view, constitutionally legitimate of the House of Lords as the unelected chamber to reject this entirely, given that the Commons has endorsed it?
Yes, I think it would. The fact is, this wasn't in a manifesto for many of the parties. It's a private member's bill. It doesn't have the support of, officially, of the government. And I think it would be appropriate if the Lords felt the bill was unworkable for them to push it back.